Some of the exciting models built with larger Meccano sets, Part 9. Meccano Set 10, 10.4 cargo ship. Let's go on to the model a bit. I've already started different sections of it. That's what I'm up to. On and off building. This is the bow section. You got a lot of bending here and plates to do. Be aware of that in your set. Let's go along it. Inside. Also, at the bottom of your plates there'll be number 1s to support them, and some girders. Let's go along to the centre of the ship. So I'm up to this stage here, ready for build the where the captain's going to be. Now back down to the stern section. See, I've done that. It's not too bad so far. Now here on the stern section, it doesn't. You make 7.5 and a 4.5 girder put together, so it doesn't mention how many holes length. So it's 23 holes. So that's what you need in that section. That's where we are up to so far. It's a good 7 foot long, as it says in the instructions. Now the question is, how are you going to get a 7 foot boat in your car, in your back of your car? Well, I'm going to stop this section here first for a moment. I'm going to have a think about it and work on it, see what I can come up with for transport wise. Off we go. Here we are. How do we separate the ship into halves? Well, I've come up with a solution now. Took me a couple of hours of messing about with it. This section here, I'm going to go through with you slowly. On this plate here is your 24.5 inch girders. Okay, what you do is you've got to take all the bolts out here. So you're going to put the bolt now 1 hole back. Okay, here's your number 1s. Move them back 2 holes, and then put your bolt on the 3rd hole. And this bolt here, with the angle bracket on it, move it back 1 hole so it supports your decking again. So let's go and show you. That's what I've done. Easy now to transport it. Also on the inside I've put an extra angle girder, number 8. At the end of the angle girder put angle bracket so it connects onto the side of the ship. And in the centre I've put a number 48, support the decking, a bit more firmer. 1 at each end of the cargo ship here, support the ends as well. Now here you've got your 24 angle girders. Well, they would originally lap over onto the other ones a bit, so I'll put them now further in so it's connected onto your angle girder here. That's what I've done. More easy now for transporting. I'm going to slide it in and match it up with the holes here. Looks like you've not disconnected it. I've also on the bolts here, same as the other side, put a little washer in, so just enough little gap so it doesn't scratch your paintwork. That's what I've done. Now to the rest of the model parts. Off we go. Right, now the cargo ship completed. Let's go along it with the camera on the tripod for you. See, it's a nice decent length, good 7 foot long. Had to extend my work table out to get it building. Its total of parts including nuts and bolts and washers and grub screws is 2,290. That's what I've added up on my list. Now what I'm going to do is hand camera it now for you and show you what I've altered a little touch, but not much on the model. Off we go. Here we are. Let's start with this stern section. First I've altered this here on the outside rod. It originally would have been another collar here, one on the top, one on the bottom, so I'm using a 179 rod socket. That one. Your mast section. Again, a local alteration. Originally only been 2 angle brackets to hold it up, so use an extra 2 more to stop it wobbling about, stiffen up better for you. This section here would have been a screw rod. I've changed it to a axle rod, number 13, 11R. Connected into it with another 179 rod socket, screwed into your collar here. There's only 2 of these in your set, so be aware of that. Also, string it up in little 176 clips. And there's only 4 in your set. I've ordered some more. Your hatch here, that weren't too bad to build. Now here, originally would have been a 7.5 flat girder, fill the gap in here, so I've got rid of that. And in your set you got a few more over, so I've replaced it with 3 more here to fill it a bit more better. Go further along onto the bridge section. Now your life bolts would have been 2 flat girders. You have to bend them to that shape, but I'm not bothered, so I've designed my own little bolts instead, using number 2s, number 5s and so on. Not a bad job that, I would say. Now the bridge section, when you're building it and you come to put your girder in, it says you do that, and then later on when you read it, it says down you've got to add on your plates. Well, I suggest you look ahead of that and then put them on at the same time as you're doing your girder with your number 5s. I found that out as I was going along. Let's go along further. This hatch cover here at the belt section, that was the hardest one to do. Plenty of plates bending and flattening, so I suggest you get some spare ones. Your master again at the front, extra angle brackets on, makes it more firmer. And also underneath here I've used a girder with some 47s to stiffen this up. You've got some over if they do. Also here I've would have been a number 1 here on the photograph, so I've changed it to an axle rod, a 7R with a 179 rod socket screwed into your collar. There's a last hatch cover. Also I'll fill that little gap in here as acting as a door with a plastic plate. And finally, in your photograph it shows you the chain coming out roughly here. Well, you can't do it, so I'll put it about there. Seems to do the job right. Your axle rod here doesn't tell you the size, so I'm using a 3.5 for it. And now that is the cargo ship. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.